is about the burns. I feel like I'm really proud of them. And
They're
then,
badges of honor.
yeah, I feel like a badass.
Welcome, Robertson Stash. How are you, Sibel?
I feel great. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming in today. I'm super excited to get the update. There's lots of new exciting things in your life going on right now.
Yeah, I was looking at the last time we spoke, and I thought it was like 4 months ago or something. But it's been a year.
Has it been a year? Do you know the date? It
was December.
Wow, so really a year. Holy moly.
I was shocked.
So a lot has happened. And I guess, first of all, congratulations. I know you made it official on Instagram. You're officially here now in Colorado.
I thought it was so funny because I made a little clip of our last podcast with Nicole, and we were all joking about me moving up here.
Yeah, we weren't joking, though, but we were serious about it. And I think every time you've been on the pod, we've tried to get you to move here. But
yeah, and here we are.
Yeah, that's great. I'm so happy. How do you like it so far?
I love it, honestly. I've been a beach girl my whole life, so I was a little bit intimidated by the idea of being like landlocked.
Or 2 miles up in the air or whatever we are.
Yeah, but with the snow and the trees, it's more enchanting than anything, and it's like kind of inspiring.
Yeah, it's beautiful out there. It's like,
yeah, just wear layers.
Yeah, layers is a big important thing when you're here because it can change rapidly. Like the other day, it went down like 30 degrees really quickly. Like just last night, I think. And yeah, it's pretty brutal. So are you acclimating well to the climate? Have you noticed anything? Is your skin, like, it's pretty dry here?
Yo, the skin thing is for real because I naturally have dry skin. So I can feel it, like when I smile, like I can feel my skin stretching. So I have this balm that I'll just kind of like apply whenever I feel like that.
Oh, wow. What is it?
It's like a beef tallow and beeswax and honey balm.
Nice.
So just trying to keep it in.
Yeah. Yeah, Aquifer is good too for like your hands. That's what a lot of people use around here.
Dude, Marmot tallow is actually amazing.
Marmot tallow.
Yeah, but I use that for burns and things like that. And it has this amazing healing quality.
Really?
Yeah, like check out this new burn I got.
Ooh, nice tattoo.
Yeah, I ran my wrist through the flame and it just went,
Oh my God. Did you feel it right away or was it not painful right away?
It wasn't even painful.
That's a bad burn then.
I know.
Yeah.
But what I did was like, it was the first night I arrived in Evergreen. And for some reason, I thought it was a good idea to start flame working after a 16-hour drive. Wow. And then I was like, I'm just going to do something really quick. I had a laser flame, so I just forgot. And then I reached right in front of it. Ouch. And then I heard the skin just go,
oh, man. I've done that before, too. On this arm, when I was in school, I put my hand right through, and I didn't feel it, and it went all black. And I go, uh-oh, it's all black, and I'm not feeling it. I think that's like a 3rd degree.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Marmot tallow, like once the skin starts to like show it's starting to heal, I'll just apply that and it heals so fast.
Yeah. How do they make Marmot tallow?
I'm not sure, but I got it in Austria when I was in the Alps.
Are marmots involved in the making?
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay. Can you get tallow from any animal?
I'm pretty sure it's like fat-based, isn't
okay.
it? Yeah.
I think people cook with it too, right? Beef tallow? Supposed to be good. Do you use it, beef tallow, in food?
On my face.
On your face? Okay.
But I'm sure I've cooked with it at some point.
Yeah. I want to try it.
Yeah.
So what's the most Colorado thing you've done so far? I know you've only been here for like a month or whatever, or maybe less officially.
What is the Colorado thing? Hiking?
Have you been to the rodeo yet?
No.
Okay, well that would be one.
Okay, rodeo, no.
Have you been on some hikes yet? Did you?
Yes.
Cool. Where'd you go?
So we hiked out to this lake not far from here, and it was a pretty remote area.
Really?
And I think it was fun because we were trying to like mushroom hunt. And,
oh, really?
And we found tons of Amanita muscariat mushrooms, actually.
No way.
Like wild how many there are up here.
Did you harvest some?
No. But it was fun to see them. It's like magical.
Yeah.
And then hiked out to this lake, and then just been around a few smaller trails for the dogs. Went paddleboarding.
Oh, where? On the lake over here?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's fun.
Yeah. But before it got super cold. I haven't really done much recently.
Now you can go ice fishing on that lake. Now that's what they're going to be setting up soon.
Really?
Little huts everywhere.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do people like camp out on the lake?
I don't think they like stay overnight, but they have all these little fishing huts, and I don't know what they do in there. I guess they fish, but I heard that the largest fish they've ever caught in there was a 75-pound big, like kind of catfish looking thing.
Damn.
So yeah, watch your toes when you're paddleboarding in there. That's fun though. Have you got yourself a cowboy hat yet?
No, is that a thing?
You gotta get one. Yeah, I got one. Calvin's probably got one.
Really?
I would imagine. I don't know. Maybe not, but I got one. You gotta get a cowboy hat. If I could fit it on
my head. My hair is too big to wear hats normally. The hats just kind of pop off.
Yeah. Maybe you get a cowboy hat with a hole in the top. Do something cool. You gotta at least get some boots.
Okay.
I would say cowboy boots. I don't have them yet, but maybe for girls, a little bit.
You gonna slip and slide in them? Do they have ones with traction?
I don't think so. They're just for fashion or riding bulls.
Putting cowboy boots and walking out in the snow and just busting
your
ass.
You would slip so hard. There's no grip on them, I don't think. It's just all smooth leather. So coming from LA, what do you think some of the biggest challenges you face transitioning to here? Like, is different climate, obviously, a little less busy. I mean, there's less amenities, but what do you think? What's your biggest challenge you're facing or realizing about that kind of transition from a big city to a small little mountain town?
Honestly, it's like the opposite. I feel like it's so much easier.
Yeah?
Well, for one, I have way more friends here. So I feel like I feel safe in the community. Whereas in LA, I felt really solitary. And
yeah, even though there's so many people there, but you're not connected with them, I guess.
Yeah, it's weird that there isn't a strong flame working community in like LA proper. Like there are people around LA, like Huntington and Orange County and stuff. But like my neighbors, I don't have any real like glass. I didn't really have like flame working buddies that I could hang out with. So
how did you lived in your studio, right? There? Okay, that's cool.
It was amazing.
So some of your neighbors in there, were they all artists in there, or
no?
It was like just residents?
Just residents.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I made friends with another girl who was Turkish that she lived down the hall, and she was probably like the only person I really befriended in the building, and we kind of bonded over just being Turkish. And so she just like sold clothes from her. She actually ran her own business in her place too.
Oh, cool.
She did retail from her place.
Nice. Yeah, those apartments look so unique and like industrial.
Well, it was an old Westinghouse building.
Okay, what's the Westinghouse? Is that?
It was like a power company.
Okay.
And so the building was structured to accommodate like big equipment and things like that. So it was all cement and high ceilings, and they had a freight elevator with a dock. So it was perfect for what I wanted to do because I could have my oxygen delivered straight to the freight elevator, and I just roll my doers into my apartment. And management knew I was really transparent about what I was doing, and like nobody really cared that I was.
That's awesome. I love when they repurpose old buildings like that for artists or apartments. That's cool.
It was awesome. And we got lucky because when COVID hit, the prices dropped in downtown because people were like moving out, and we got it for a sweet deal with a view of downtown and everything. So I don't think I could ever find something like that again in LA.
In LA, yeah. Well, you're here now. Yay. Different. It's better. I like it.
I'm ready for it though, because like there's a certain point, I feel like as I'm growing as a person, you know, I always dreamt when I was a kid that I wanted to live in the city. Like I was imagining New York, and then I would visualize seeing a landscape in front of me with tall buildings, and that I was like an artist doing my thing. And then sure enough, like, you know, I got to that point, and then I stood in my place, and I was just like, holy shit, it came true.
Wow.
But
that's
then
awesome.
After being on, like, because it was on Skid Row pretty much, like Little Tokyo and then Skid Row. So it was awesome. But then when you look down on the street, there's people, like, going crazy.
Yeah.
And screaming at the top of their, like, bloody murder. And so, like, that kind of got to me after some time.
I can imagine.
And I was just like, then my new manifestation was I want to live in like a place where there's nature, where I can walk outside and like go for a run and not have to like worry about needles and like, you know, my dog stepping on something or someone harassing
just me. Mountain lions and bears now.
Which is crazy. Yeah. But honestly, like, and now I'm here and I'm like, damn, I did it again.
That's awesome. Wow. So what did you get up to this summer? I haven't really talked to you. I know you were traveling a lot. You were in Europe for a little bit. What were some highlights? Where'd you go? How'd your summer kick off?
The summer was wild. Well, I mean, the whole year I was on the road, actually.
Where did you start?
Well, after
I think the last time we talked, you were heading to Europe, maybe, or
I was.
I forget. Maybe you were teaching a class somewhere.
Okay, this is what happened.
Okay.
After the podcast, went to Art Basel and then did that. Collaborated with Badrian and Chad Lacey for a little bit in Florida, and then I went to Corning to teach a class.
Okay. Oh, yeah. With Taffy, right?
That was with Coldberger.
Oh, Coldberger. Okay.
Yeah, that was in January. And then after that, like literally from Corning, I flew to Bangkok.
Wow.
And then did a glass demo there for the full moon sesh.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Ori and Ezekiel, right? Is that Oriana and Ezekiel? But no.
I was in touch with Igor.
Okay.
So he
maybe that's the Bangkok. I think they're like the Argentina. Yeah. So
yeah, there are a few different hosts in different countries,
cool.
but Igor's kind of like the main guy.
Nice. Are you going back to Bangkok for this one?
To.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're talking about it, but yeah, then Bangkok. And then straight from Bangkok, I flew to Las Vegas and did the trade show.
Wow.
And then from Las Vegas, I was supposed to go back to Corning to do a big demo with Windstar, Sayin, Higdog. And then I got COVID.
You got sick. I remember that. Yeah.
So then
bummer.
They replaced me with Soulfire and ended up being an amazing work. I'm like glad that it happened that way.
Yeah.
And I ended up being, my torch and all of my equipment was still at Corning because I was planning to go back. So once I got better, I like flew to Corning still.
Just to grab your stuff.
Yeah. And then I saw them finish the piece. So it was
cool.
Good. I was only sick for like 2 days, you know.
Yeah. That's too bad.
But, and then from there, I probably picked up Thanos and went back to Austin for maybe 2 weeks. And from Austin, I think I came up here to work with Ubatuba and Kong.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was here for a little bit. And then after this, I went to Barcelona for Spanibus.
Oh, wow.
In March.
How was that?
It was fun. I did a show with Terpy BCN. They were a club out there.
Okay.
And it was their first time showing art or glass art. And I did like a collaborative body of work with them. And just connecting with the Europeans.
Is that like a club, a weed club out there? Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and then...
And where was Spanibus held at this year?
It was in some big convention. Honestly, I didn't even go to the Spanibus convention. I was just doing things like around that in the clubs and
nice.
Like, hanging out with people.
Did you catch up with Zach B while you're up there?
Always.
Nice.
Yeah, we always collaborate when I go to Barcelona.
Cool. What's his studio like?
So
out there?
It's a really cool studio. He shares it with the Russian guys. So this is Anton and Ivan, and they pretty much run the space, and they live there too. They have a space above it where they live, and it's like a central area where they sort of like an Everdream where like it's a central space, and then you like work around it. And so they have their spot set up, and then they display glass in their spot too.
Oh, cool. And they live there too?
Yeah, not Zach, but the guys.
The other guys, nice. That sounds cool. So you were in there. Where'd you go from Barcelona?
From Barcelona, I went back to Austin and then worked for a little bit longer.
At Micah's spot? Is that where you're posted up? Yeah, nice.
So yeah, I would just kind of hop over to Austin and then like replenish my work.
Yeah.
And then I would hop over to somewhere else. I think over the course of the whole year, I probably spent a total of 2 months in Austin accumulatively.
Wow. So all the rest of the time on the road. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And so I think in, what month was that? March, April. Yeah. And then I came back up here again. No, I didn't. Did I?
April, I don't know. I think I saw you right before, like late summer, maybe like before.
Oh, so maybe I came here. Maybe I came here after Spanibus. That might have been it.
Okay.
Because then I was on the road for like 4 months straight.
Where were you at?
So when I left Austin, again, I went straight to, where did I go for? I went to Prague.
Wow.
And then I hopped over to Istanbul because I had to teach a 1 week class in May.
Wow. Where was that at?
That was at the glass furnace. It's called Jam Oja.
Okay.
And they have a really cool setup. It's really similar to Pilchuck or Penland, where it's like a craft school where you stay on campus and they feed you.
Cool.
And their facilities they need to be, I guess, nurtured a little bit more, but they're trying really hard. And it's a really great spot.
What's the scene like there, like the Boro scene? Is it growing or
pretty
primitive?
Non-existent.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, the Boro in general, like, it's growing, but they don't really, like, soft glass is more popular there, so the torches are smaller, the kilns are smaller. So when they ask someone to come and teach Boro, it's like, you're going to have to work around what they have.
Did you bring your own torch?
No, I
just
didn't.
Used what they had? What were you using?
A Herbie.
A Herbie, nice. Were the students, did they have, I guess they didn't have much experience then, were they picking up on it?
Some don't. Like, there are some flame workers there that can access Boro and like they're into that. So I had a few students with experience and they would help the other students. I had they provided me a TA that spoke fluent Turkish, so
cool.
he would translate.
Do you speak Turkey at all or a little bit? Understand it?
I speak enough Turkish to get around. I'm like sort of a child.
Yeah.
So I can hang out with my family and they'll like tease me like
Did they speak fluent Turkish?
My family?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they all are from Turkey.
Okay.
My dad lives there.
Well, that's cool. So you had a translator kind of explaining things a little bit?
Yeah, it made the demos last forever. I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and he'd be like, and then they'd be like, oh.
Oh, that's cool.
It was fun. But I programmed that class to conveniently happen right before the glass conference, the gas conference in Berlin.
Okay.
So I flew from Istanbul to Berlin to do the glass conference. And then I had a show in the exhibition there.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah, it was really
What was that like?
The conference?
Yeah.
I think the conference was nice, except there was a lot of traveling between places.
Oh, yeah.
So people were
tough.
like, oh, where are you going to see? What demo are you going to see now? They're like, oh, I'm all the way in that building. And then you have to take the train to another place.
Wow.
So it was, honestly, Berlin's not my favorite place.
Yeah.
I also happen to always get sick while I'm there.
Really?
So I had major allergies during the conference and like a coughing fit. So every time I was talking with someone, I'd be like,
What'd you think of the food there?
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of Turkish food there.
In Berlin?
Yeah.
Yeah. I found it hard to get some like normal things I like when was in Germany. A lot of schnitzel stuff, and like there was just plain like fresh bread with like a piece of pork on it that I was really liking. They sold that everywhere.
Nice.
Down there, but
honestly, I don't even remember. I was probably like nibbling on croissants or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of good pastries over that way. So you were in Berlin and you went to the gas conference. Were there any highlights that you can remember from that? Did you see any good lectures or anything? Or?
Yeah, there were some nice demos. Yeah, there was this really awesome. So the Berlin Flameworking Studio was just established right before the conference, and it was held at the same place where they were having like the hot glass and everything. And so they wanted to have fun with it, so they did like a little flame off, like impromptu.
Wow.
And yeah, like a bunch of flame workers would just come up and like they had 5 minutes or something to make something. And
5 minutes? Okay.
Yeah, so we were all being ushered in, and they're like, you're up next, and then like you'd be kind of waiting for the torch you wanted, you know, and like, it was a huge group of people just like being like, woo.
So what'd you make?
Oh, I made a little torso, like a hollow torso.
5 minutes, wow.
Dude, I was like, you know, and it was like still on I didn't even put a handle on it, it was on like a point. So, and then.
So how'd they judge that? Was there a ultimate winner, or was it more for fun?
No, it was more for fun.
Yeah.
And they ended up stringing up all the pieces on this big cord and put it out there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. So it was a good time, Berlin. I got to get back to a gas conference soon.
Texas.
Is that coming up? The next one? Wow.
Come on now.
I might. I've never been to Texas, so that might be the perfect excuse.
Texas. Yeah.
Is it where in Texas? Austin?
Fort Worth?
Oh, Fort Worth. Okay.
Oh my gosh, I might be wrong about that.
So. We shall see.
So, but yeah, Berlin. I was happy to leave Berlin. I went straight to Prague after that, and then hung out with the homies there, and then went down to Barcelona again to teach another class.
Wow. So how long you were in Europe for months or?
No, that was only a few weeks. And then after Barcelona, I flew straight to Pittsburgh to teach a class at the Pittsburgh Glass Center.
Oh, wow.
And I was in Pittsburgh for a week, and then I flew back to Prague. Like, I was just like, I'm out of here. And then there was another full moon sesh in Prague, and I had to make a piece for that.
Wow.
And I was in Prague for like a month.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Jet setter. That's
great.
very cool. So you were in Prague at the full moon, and then you remember what happened after that? Did you come? How do you remember all this?
Well, then after Prague, hit up the Austrian Alps, and then from there went to Corning to teach another class that was with Taffy.
Taffy, okay.
And then I was there for 2 weeks. Yeah, and then I went to Virginia and chilled the fuck out.
Yeah.
With my mom.
Good.
And then flew back to Austin. And then as soon as I got to Austin, I immediately found out that things had shifted at the studio, so I had to move right away.
Oh, wow.
And then I had a show coming up at Peace of Mind the next month. So that's when I hit up the boys here, and I was just like, can I rent a studio for a month or something? And then Calvin gave me a price. He was like, just pay me this much, and then it's fine. So I just, in a week, I by myself, it was the most stressful, like probably one of the top 2 stressful things in my life.
Yep.
And I like moved everything to storage, my studio, and then packed my car with as much shit as I could, threw Thanos in, and then I just drove straight up here.
Wow.
And then I was here for that month working.
Mm-hmm. And then you went to do your show at Peace of Mind.
Peace of Mind, and then from Peace of Mind, I went back to Berlin.
Wow.
And then I taught a class there, a demo class, and then I judged the European Flame Off.
Oh, cool.
And then I was like, I can't wait to get out of here.
Really?
Like, I was so sick the whole time.
Oh, no.
Like 2 different sicknesses. One of them was kind of like a flu. And then right after that, I had like massive diarrhea. And I was like at the flame off, like running to the bathroom every like 5 minutes. I was judging the pieces and holding my butt. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's great. Thanks.
I'm like, get out of here.
Oh my gosh, that's tough.
It was crazy.
What do you think it was? Like the food or just some random?
No one else got it.
Oh, yeah.
I ate the same food as everyone else. And then for some reason, my body was like, fuck this, go home.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of traveling back to back. That can weaken your immunity maybe a little bit.
Ridiculous.
And then so Berlin, back to Berlin, and now, and then where did you go? Did you go straight back to LA from Berlin, or?
LA's done.
No, but I saw you in PuffCon.
Oh, I did PuffCon after my show.
Okay, so you went right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we missed PuffCon.
I forgot about that one.
Yes. What did you think of PuffCon?
I thought it was great. I think
it was a fun party.
It was fun.
The only thing I didn't like is like it was hard to find the glass a little bit.
That's what I was
because it was like there was no arrow and there was.
It was at the very end.
Very end, and then you had to walk upstairs if you went inside the building, and there was no signs, and then they shut it down so no one could come in after 10 o'clock. And I had all these deals lined up with some of the hash companies, and they wouldn't. When they were done at 10, I was like, "Yeah, come over here, and we'll do some deals." And they wouldn't let anyone in there, so it was like that would have been where I would have made some money. But all in all, it was a good time. I think maybe a couple of signs with glass this way would have been cool, but it was fun.
There were some people there that I would have loved to see, and they didn't even know we were flame working.
I know. And a lot of other people said, oh, I thought it was for VIP only.
Yeah.
Like they were telling people it was for VIP only. So I think there was a little confusion on that, but I'm sure they'll work it out a little bit more next year.
I love that there is a glass blowing area. Like, I think the fact that they incorporated that into the event was super cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a big part of their company too, right?
Yeah.
Like the glass portion of it. I don't know. But.
Like including the artists in it too. I mean, I feel like they could totally not. But the fact that we had an opportunity to share with an audience that doesn't normally look at heady glass, like their intro into glass is through Puffco products. Yeah. And then when they see people blowing glass, it blows their minds. Yeah,
it takes it to a new level for sure. Yeah, that was fun. Did you catch any of the music there, or were you just too busy blowing the whole time?
I branched out like maybe 2 or 3 times just to see what was going on. But I would kind of run around and then overstimulated and then run back to the glass area. Yeah,
that was fun. Did you finish the piece you were working on there?
No, but so I was working on this piece with Ryan, Ryan Fit, and then so when Ryan comes into town, we're probably going to finish it, or our intention is to finish it.
Cool.
So did you guys finish your piece?
We did. I think he did a couple of things like afterwards, but it was mainly finished.
Yes.
Yep.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was really fun. Battling the elements, blowing glass. Like, I think my eyebrows got a little shorter that weekend.
You were like,
so, I saw one of your recent pieces that you posted, and I'm loving the composition of your figures now. Like that latest one, the hands are doing something. It's like so subtle, but it really is like really cool. What were the hands doing in that latest one that's like white? Is it? It's like that. It looks like a
Do you know who that is?
Demon possessed. No.
Do you know who that band is? Okay.
So, give me a hint. I don't know.
All right. I guess this is. So I've always loved this group. They're called D Antwoord. And
I know D Antwoord. Yeah, I thought it was Die Antwoord, but yeah, D Antwoord. That crazy girl and the dude.
Yeah, Ninja and Yolandi.
Yeah.
But like I've always been a fan of theirs, since they first came out. And then I noticed that they were going to be in Denver on the 30th for like Halloween.
Oh, cool.
And the show was sold out.
Where was it?
Oh gosh, I don't know the name.
Mission Ballroom?
It's a small theater. It starts with an O.
Okay. Oh, the Ogden? Okay, cool.
Yeah. And
nice.
I showed it to Calvin and I was like, hey, this show sold out, but I really want to go. Like, do you have anyone who can like hook us up a little bit? And I just wanted to go to the show. I didn't even think that maybe we would make a piece for them. But
that piece went to the band? No way. How'd that happen?
So I guess when he asked, I think it was F-Time who had the connection. And then he was able to talk to this manager of the manager. And so they were like, yeah, you can give them a piece if you want. And so we made it a passion project. Because I had this picture of Yolandi in this pose over my studio bench back in LA. And I always like wanted to make that piece. And so I showed it to him and I was like, can I please like do this one? And then whatever you want to add to it, like we can make it like a collaboration. So, we looked at their visuals from music videos and stuff and like pulled from their imagery. And so we made it into a dry pipe. And then they gave us tickets to the show for free.
No way.
And so we got there and then we were like, can we meet them? And they didn't let us meet them, but we were able to hand the piece off and then they accepted the piece. the management accepted the piece, and so they told us. But when we got to the show, we were like right in the front, and it was super cool. I could touch Ninja's hand if I wanted to. But yeah, so they got the piece, and then they posted it on their story
no way,
like a week later.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and I shared it on my page, but it was awesome because I just didn't expect it to get that far.
Yeah.
I was like, I just want to see them.
That's fun.
Yeah, but I guess, yeah, it was good.
That's cool. When was that? Just recently, right? Because I just saw that post.
Yeah, October 30th.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. So was it like a Halloween costume? Actually, I went to Red Rocks that night.
You did?
Yeah, that's the night Honeycomb opened up for T-Pain at Red Rocks, and I went and hung out with him. Yeah, it was great.
Nice.
But it was the day before Halloween. Did you do anything else for Halloween? Did you dress up to that Die Antwoord show?
Yeah.
Was everyone dressed up?
No, I was one of the few. I mean, there were people dressed up because that they kind of attract that, like people wearing onesies and like girls drawing on their,
Really?
Yeah. And then I wore like a Dune outfit, like a Fremen.
A Dune from that movie Dune?
Yeah, like the Fremen, they're like the desert people, and they have the blue eyes, and they wear this outfit. So I wore that, and they have like this nose thing that, it's like a thing that goes up your nose. And
I kind of remember.
yeah, but
I think I watched that movie on an airplane, and I fell asleep for most of it. But
dude, it's one of my favorites.
Is it? And there's another one too now, right?
The second one,
too? Okay.
Yeah.
I have to check it out again.
It's a great movie to see in the theaters.
Really?
It's too late now, but with the surround sound, there's a lot of like booming sounds in the movie. So when the aircrafts are landing, it's like,
wow.
And then they have this thing where they use the voice, then when they use the voice, it like mind control, like you tell someone what to do.
Okay.
And it's like this deep tone. It's like, bring me my coffee.
Yeah. I wonder if they got a VR version of that. That sounds like it would be immersive.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, can I give you something?
Sure. Wow. Thank you. What a surprise.
So when you said
we were going to do donuts.
Bacon,
yeah.
Okay. This is
what did you do?
I made these like gluten-free things, and I wrote this Robertson stash.
Oh my God. We got to get a picture of this. I can see it. Robertson stash. What are these?
It's like a gluten-free pancake mix that I put into a baggie, and I like squirt it into the oil.
That's so cool.
And
can we get a shot of that? Did you get like a maybe on that one? Just get a.
Here, can we lay it on the table like this? We don't have to.
Yeah. Look at that.
This is our.
I might keep this forever.
Robertson. Oh, there's gonna be some sugar on your table.
That's okay.
Robertson stash.
Wow, you got good handwriting.
I tried.
So this looks fun. Can I try one of these?
Yeah, I made these for you to eat. This one's just for show.
I've never seen anything like it. It's like, so it's pancake mix and you put it into like oil or?
Mm-hmm. And then I mix in honey and sugar and cinnamon.
It's kind of like a churro a little bit.
Yeah, but it's gluten-free. Isn't it amazing?
These are good. Thank you so much.
Can you hear me chewing?
Mm-hmm. Some ASMR. So let's go.
Gulp.
So you got any big plans for this winter?
Just to not travel.
Not travel, bunker in, hibernate?
Yeah, I usually go to Basel in December, but this year I'm skipping.
Are you?
Mm-hmm. I just want to be grounded now, and
yeah,
I'm integrating into the space, so I'm slowly unpacking and
getting settled,
seeing things from my storage unit that I hadn't seen all year. I'm like, oh my God, my books.
Oh yeah.
Like clothes that I forgot I had. I don't know, just equipment that I haven't used all year, like my kiln.
Yeah, that's what my storage unit is like upstairs. I got to get rid of it. It's just a bunch of stuff I don't need, apparently. Yeah. But I just said this on the last podcast, but I've heard something, if you are a bit of a hoarder and you keep a lot of things, you just got to imagine it. If it had shit on it, would you clean it or throw it out? And if it did, if you throw it out, then you should probably just get rid of it. But if you clean it, that's not probably the best conversation while we're eating this here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But no, my bad.
Oh, I thought I was chewing too loud.
No, I was talking about shit while you were eating, and I thought it'd be.
Oh, I don't care about that.
What is it about glass that keeps you coming back to it after all these years?
I think that it's a weird thing because I feel like it's been integrated into my DNA or my habits.
Your
or
existence.
How my psychological well-being, or I don't even know how to describe it, but whenever I'm away from the torch too long, I start to get like irritable and weird and impatient, And then once I turn the torch on and start working, my system just regulates, and I get lost in it, and I'm like, oh, finally, and I'm like relaxed. Yeah. And you put the work away, and it's hard, but once you just like take the action to do it, then all of a sudden I'm just like, okay, I'm home again. So it's like when I was on the road during the year, like there would be periods of time when I wasn't on the torch, and I would just start getting like pissed.
Antsy, like idle hands, like what am I gonna do?
Yeah, I'm like,
and I feel like that too. Yeah, like working does relax me, even though it's hard work, but finding a balance a little bit, because you can almost overdo it a little bit because it's so satisfying. I don't know what it is, but
like you get obsessed.
Yeah.
I think it's a certain type of person too that's attracted to glasswork. Mm-hmm. And I feel like there's a certain level of like attention deficit or, like racing minds.
Because you kind of have to like think about three things at once. Like you're spinning, your flame, like more than three things at once. And it kind of like, I think that's why I like glass, because you really it really demands a level of focus that you need to have in it. There's not many things out there that you can, like, you forget about everything else. You forget about the election. You forget about your bills. You're like focused on this piece. And if you're not, you can fuck it up pretty quick.
You can.
Yeah.
I don't know how, like, a lot of guys have the TV in front of the torch. And
yeah, like an 80-inch straight. They're getting sent there.
I'm like really into watching, like when I watch a movie or a show, I'm devoted to that fully. Mm-hmm. Even if it's something I've seen like 100 times.
Really?
Yeah, like, Midnight Gospel. I've watched that from, do you know that one?
You mentioned that from the last time when I asked you your favorite movie.
Or it's a show. It's a show.
Oh, okay.
It's like one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
And I have seen the first season like 6 times fully.
Wow.
And I was like, maybe I'll try and turn this on while I'm working. And then sure enough, I'm just like staring at this guy. I can't
After you've seen it a million times.
Like I have to turn the TV off. And then like if I'm not totally focused on the glass, like I can't do it. Because if I look up for something, it's like, you just like mash something in the wrong place.
I found that too. Yeah, I don't know how people do it. Like when I was with Hoobs just working, like we watch movies the whole time. And I guess, here I don't really ever do that or listen to stuff.
You don't listen to anything?
I do listen to things. I don't really watch things, but I don't have a TV in front of me. Maybe for that reason.
Yeah.
What do you think is one of the most challenging aspects of working with glass?
I think it's keeping a level head. And I feel like it comes with experience, because I reflect on, especially while I'm teaching, when young students start trying new techniques, they seem like they're always sweating it, like they're freaking out. And then when they try and stick a move, it's like they just do it out of this anxiety and fear. And they're just not calm, and like things just get messy. And
get frustrated.
They just start acting and like forcing. And I feel like it's not something that you can just teach someone. It's like they have to like stick with it for years and like develop that patience and confidence and trust in the material. And I feel like it's really hard to like get that, because it takes so much time and failures and really hard experiences, where I remember just like freaking out over cracks, and then I'd like break pieces, and then once I started slowing down, it's almost like it's moving in slow motion. Like you're like really relaxed with material, and it's getting super hot and it's moving, and you're just like, yeah, that's what I want to do. Yeah. And then when you have that calm with working with the material, like that's when the magic happens.
There's a moment where it just clicks and you understand the material more, and it it elevates you a little bit. What was I going to say about that? Like even now, like I feel like when I'm working late on a piece, like taking a step back sometimes instead of like being impulsive about my next move is something I'm still working on to this day, because you want it. I mean, like I shouldn't have finished this piece. This Jerry Kelly piece we just made, and I worked on it till 4 a.m. and I wanted it done, so I took it off the handle that night. And I need to practice that discipline of, no, even if it's done, just leave it on the handle till the next day so you can check it good, and then like, finish it properly, because you can't see
It's always that last thought.
I know.
I'll be almost done with a thing, and they're like, oh, just one more move. And then it's always that thing, oh, just one more move. All of a sudden, it fucks everything up. Like something will pop off, or you're just like, wait. And then you're just like, I should have just let it be.
You should, I know. You said you should have done this. Your body tells you. Oh, I know. And you go against it. I don't know why what is that? I just recently spent like a week on this wolf for those guys in Argentina, like the full moon sesh.
Oh, yeah.
And I was finishing it on the full moon that we just had, the last full moon.
Oh.
And I was like, I was kind of nervous to finish it. Like I had one move just to take it off the handle, and I was waiting for Kyle to leave just so I could be focused. But I was like, no, everything, just watch and film me. And I put these lights on me when I was filming it, like the finishing move. And then I took it out and I'm working on it. And then it just exploded into a million pieces. And I had to have no idea why. Like, and it's all on video.
No.
And I like throw my glasses down. I take a step back, and it's like that feeling. It hasn't happened for a long time, but I just had to hug Kyle, and it was quiet for a little bit. And it's that feeling. It's so painful, but I handled it better than I've ever handled it. Maybe because of the no drinking thing, but like it's a big learning lesson, and you go through it in your head. What happened? I had this one on video. I couldn't watch the video of it for like a month. Everyone else saw it. I couldn't look at it. But that's an emotional thing for glassblowers. Yeah.
Heartbreaking. You have to learn how to deal with loss.
And then I just took it as a class and a learning curve because I've never made a wolf before. And then I just took the next week, and actually I made another one that's even better within like 4 days or something, 3 days, 4 days, and learned a lot. That's all you can do. You don't lose, you learn in glass, but
that's the thing.
Painful.
It's all about your attitude. And that plays into what I just said too.
Totally.
And it's like,
the more seasoned you are, the more you kind of don't react as much.
Oh my God, I don't feel anything anymore sometimes. Like I've had pieces where like the girl's head just pops off, and then I'm like, oh. And then I just pick it up and I put it back on.
Wow.
And it's like no big deal. Because I'm just like, you have to already be prepared to lose the piece as soon as you start it.
Your heart doesn't skip a little beat at all?
If it's with someone else's prep.
Oh yeah, that's...
Then I'll
totally.
Be like
there's a little more pressure in that sense, definitely.
If it's just me, I'm like, dumb.
Yeah, well, that's good. It's always a learning experience too when I'm fixing a piece and I'm seeing where that crack is spreading. Like I always feel like I learn a little bit more about the material when I'm like working on that kind of edge, like fixing something and it might break or it might fix. And
This episode is sponsored by Mood Mats. Man, what a great product they are. They're made from 100% recycled wetsuits. Mood mats are essentially coasters for your rigs. They keep the mess levels down when you're dealing with sticky, shattery, wax, oils, and concentrates, all of the above. They do a ton of collabs with lots of artists, musicians, all sorts of interesting people. It's a great way to expand your brand. So if you are a small business or an artist interested in expanding your reach, hit them up at moodmats.com or on Instagram at moodmats. Here, pass them all. I can handle it. Ah! Thank you guys for sponsoring the show. Now back to the episode.
What's one of your most favorite or most satisfying characteristics of glass, would you say? I mean, how long have you been blowing now? 13 years or
12 years?
12 years? Okay. So I wonder if that's changed because at the beginning, glass is see-through, it's shiny, it's molten, but what are some of the satisfying things for you about glass?
It's a really satisfying thing to me is, it's just the way that the material shifts in its properties, like going from solid to like a liquid and then capturing it at the right moment to do what you want. And you're just like, where's that sweet spot? It's like Goldilocks.
Freezes, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like this most satisfying thing is capturing the glass right in that perfect transitory state and doing exactly what you want with it, and then it being what you want. And you're just like, and I love this material because the way it glows, and it's. I mean, I've said this so many times, but it's like it's almost like its own personality. Like you're in a relationship with this material, and you have to treat it like someone you respect. And you also kind of have to put it in its place a little bit, but you have to.
And when you don't,
dance.
it shows you need to. It tells you right away.
Exactly.
Puts you in check.
And it's no one else's fault but your own about how you handle it. Because I'm like, the glass is just being glass. But, if you don't
think
handle
paint does that for painters? Or do you think after a certain level, after 40 years of painting, they're just like, it's not the same, right? Like, you have to maintain this level of respect on the daily for glass. And as soon as you get a little cocky or you like, it's like, it kicks you in the ass. Yeah, it's like, don't.
Pay attention. Yeah, I mean, because we both like to paint. And so you kind of know, like, how the process is. It's kind of like more of an endurance thing. Because I feel like painting, you're like, okay, I'm painting. And I'm going to be painting this like this until it's finished. And maybe I'll do a coat at the end or something.
Yeah.
But with glass, it's just like all the different moves, all the different techniques. you have to stay really alert the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, it's body for, you're like into it. Like I can't just sit and do like this forever with glass. Like I have to kind of like get up in it.
And you think about stages, like it's not just painting it on layers. You kind of got to build it in a certain fashion a little bit.
And there's so much to learn.
Always.
Glass is so extensive in its vocabulary of like techniques or encyclopedia of techniques, whatever you call it. But like pattern work, colored, hollow blown, solid, like sculpture, vessels, like, I mean, holy shit.
And it's all so relatively new too. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more new techniques coming out in the future,
I mean, it's such a young movement of art. I mean, or an art form. I mean, studio glass movement is only like 100 years old. Think about like, American glass blowers and things like that. And in pipe making,
even really, but
like pipe making specifically, super young movement. And, you see the rest of the world just like trying to catch up. Like we already have like a really pretty solid community, but if you compare it to like ancient sculptures or paintings throughout history, like it's like a little dot.
It's got lots of room to grow.
For sure.
If you could describe your relationship with glass in 3 words, what would they be, would you say?
With glass?
With glass, your relationship with glass.
3 words?
Yeah. Take your time. No pressure.
Okay, I'm just saying love, lust, and fury.
Fury?
I don't know why I said that. but I'm
see
like,
that.
Yeah, it's just like a range of things.
You got to have a love for it to do it this long, really.
Yeah.
Well,
unconditional love.
It is, yeah. Definitely is. Even when you burn yourself in your arm.
Dude, I don't know what it is about the burns. I feel like I'm really proud of them. And then
badges of honor.
Yeah, I feel like a badass when
What about cuts? Do you cut yourself very often?
Did I tell you about this one?
No, I don't think so. Oh, that looks bad.
Kidding.
Is that? That's like a lump on there.
Feel it.
What happened there?
So.
Is that from a cut? It's like a broken bone in there.
This happened 9 years ago.
Whoa.
I was trying to so I pulled a point and I was trying to put my blow hose at the end of the point, right?
Off a sharp point.
So I was applying pressure to the end of the point and holding the piece, and the strength of me trying to do that snapped the point, and I drove it into my hand. Ooh. So it's like a circle.
It's like a big needle.
There was like shards of glass just sticking out of my finger, and I pulled 2 of them out, and my fat started spilling out of my finger. And then I was like, oh shit. And then I thought maybe I could super glue it or something, but it was too much. And it happened to be a night when I was in the studio where no one was around. It was like 11:30. Like I called so many people, and then I was like, shit, maybe I need to take an Uber to the emergency room or something. But one of my friends came through and took me. But they didn't check. They just sewed me up, 12 stitches, and there's still glass in my finger.
Oh no. That's what that little lump is?
Yeah. You want to feel it again?
No, I'm okay. What are you going to do about that?
Well,
is it health?
I don't know.
Did they say anything about that? Should you get it removed?
Probably. I've had 3 pieces come out since then.
On their own?
And I feel like one is going to come out soon because it's starting to like bruise.
Come to the surface?
Yeah.
Your body's rejecting it.
Slowly. Like, oh my gosh, the pieces that have come out have been like ground down.
Really?
From just like hanging out.
Cold work from your body.
Yeah. Whoa.
Ouch.
I'll probably have to get it removed. This piece is pretty big.
Yeah. I have, look at this scar on my finger right here.
Damn.
From glass. That's from a glass dildo.
Shut up.
Yeah, because
why is the dildo sharp?
When we were in school, one of my roommates was making them in the hot shop. I don't know. And then she would display them around the house, and they weren't cold worked on the bottom. They just had like break off plenty marks. And then her parents came by, and so she put them all in the cracks of the couches.
No.
And I was looking for the remote. And you know how you karate chop and you look in the remote, and I karate chop, and then it hit the edge of the punty, and then like the finger there's a piece of skin like this. And it was a holiday. So no emergency things were open. We're driving around. I'm just gushing blood. Like, it's crazy. But
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Of all things, a dildo in the couch.
I know. They're like, the doctor was like, how'd you do this? And I kind of forget what I said, but I think I came up with a different story.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
We survived. Do you have any crazy burns too?
I did, like that one in school, like in the same spot basically, or on the other arm. That was one of my worst ones. It's really kind of healed. I can't really see it anymore. Yeah, but no, I mean, I got fresh burns all the time. Oh, this one was bad because I was finishing a piece in the grabbers and it slipped out and it landed on my finger and I couldn't do anything for a second because so I had to set it down and then readjust it, and it burnt like a real shiny, hard, like the edge of the glass like seared it, and it was like this loop, and that these ones are bad because they always get ripped off when they go in your pockets. Like I had them both right there for some reason, but they're yeah.
I ran my knuckle through the flame twice in the same spot, so I know all about that. With your knuckle game.
Yeah. Oh well, it's all part of the game.
It's so cool.
So, what kind of things do you do to stay healthy and like keep on blowing glass? Is there anything that you do? I know you said you were going to the gym. Are you going to sign up for a gym here, or just go out and work out in nature?
Yeah, I mean,
do some chin-ups off a tree.
Right? I mean, I feel like I'm going to get back into a good routine for sure, because I've spent most of my career also doing fitness.
Have you? Yeah.
Especially climbing. Like for years,
this is the land of climbing and bouldering around here.
I know. I think it's been almost 2 years since I climbed regularly, but when it was my other passion, the strength and the buildup that you get from climbing works perfectly with glass.
Is that right?
Because you have this forearm strength, you have like shoulder strength, and your full body, but like
core too, I bet.
When I was blowing glass at Neptune, I was so svelte. Like my shoulders and my fucking arms were like
jacked.
Muscle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I could do that 50x7 all day.
Wow.
And
it's a good workout.
I mean, I really truly believe this, and I don't ever want to force people to change their lives, but I feel like it's a sin to not take care of your body and like give it some type of fitness where you're just getting your blood pumping. Like, I'm not asking for much,
Mm-hmm.
At least go out and like walk or do something with your body, because
something physical.
Yeah, because if you don't, you will end up in like a wheelchair or crippled or like in pain all the time. And it's like, if you never stop moving your body, then you won't stop moving. And like one of my biggest fears is like being disabled, like not having my legs or my arms or strength. Mm-hmm. Because when you feel strong, it kind of makes you feel happier, because like for me, it's like when I'm not working out and I'm just feeling kind of sluggish, not eating good food, I get moody and I start feeling bad about myself. I'm just like, negative.
And it's harder to get out and do something too. It's like, it's almost, for me anyways, it's like when I'm feeling that way, and it's just harder to get out of that rut sometimes. And just going out and working out or going for a walk really does help a little bit sometimes.
It does. And you don't have to put so much pressure on yourself. Like for me, I used to put a lot of pressure on myself about working out, and then it would sort of paralyze me in the moment. I'd be like, oh, it's just so much to do. But if you just start by like getting on the floor and doing some cat cows, all of a sudden you're just like, oh, okay. Like, and then, let yourself get into it and stuff. Like, especially when I'm not motivated. When I was on the road,
that's tough.
Like,
what do you do on the road to like stay?
I had this travel yoga mat that I could fold into like a thin sheet, and I would bring it everywhere I went, and I would just do yoga or like some calisthenics. I would bring my running shoes, and if I was in a place where I could run for a little bit, then, a light jog makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I got to jog more. I like the elliptical because my shins hurt when I jog. My feet hurt.
Ellipticals are great.
I like the elliptical, yeah. So what's a typical day look like for you when you're at home working? Like, are you a night owl, or I guess you're kind of more of a night owl?
These days, more so.
Yeah.
I've never really been able to consistently be a morning person, although I do love the mornings. And actually, yesterday I woke up at like 5 a.m.
Did you see the sunrise?
I mean,
because it's so beautiful here. It's like pink for like 20 minutes.
See, we don't see it very much from the house.
Oh, okay.
It's mostly I see like the dusk colors, and then all of a sudden the sun's up, and I'm just like, wait.
So what were you doing up at 5:30 or 5?
I went to bed really early because honestly I made too many cocktails. So I bought this new, I don't know. It's
you went to bed early, or you passed out early?
It was like, cause Rhino came to town and we ate dinner with him, and I was excited socializing, and like, I guess like I was just getting carried away, and then I sat down on the couch with the dogs, And then all of a sudden my hands
woke up at 5 a.m.
No, my head was spinning. And then I was like, no, I was very logical about it. I was like, okay, I think you need to put yourself to bed. And so I went up and I walked to the studio and I was like, I'm wasted. I got to go to bed. And so I just like went to bed at like 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then, I woke up at 5 and it felt great. Like, I chugged a bunch of water before I went to bed. I'm like a very responsible, like,
drinker.
Yeah. Like I'll like do my night routine and
Wow.
brush my teeth and stuff.
That's good.
Yeah.
So what did you do when you were up? Did you start your day or did you go back to bed?
I got up and then I wrote in my journal for like an hour.
Oh, wow.
And then I hung out with Thanos and I drew a little bit. And then I went on Amazon and was looking for like cubbies to get for storage. And then made coffee and
then it was still morning time.
Yeah, and then it was like 9 o'clock, and then people were starting to wake up in the house.
Yeah, those are good hours. Like my trainer gets up at 4 a.m. every morning, and then reads for an hour, and then does all this other stuff before everyone's up. I don't know. That's a bit early for me. It's special, yeah.
Yeah, it's like spiritual.
It really is.
Because I feel like when I'm looking at the atmosphere outside, where things are just starting to wake up, there's something pure and like holy about it for me.
It's like there's mist coming off, and
and you hear the birds stirring, and
a special time.
And I just kind of sit there and I'm just like grateful. And I don't want to be cheesy, but sometimes I'm just like, count your blessings. Like you are doing great. Like you have everything you need.
Yeah.
And like there's abundance everywhere, So
being grateful is very important.
It's amazing.
I think it attracts things to you when you're grateful.
Absolutely.
If you could give your 18-year-old self some advice, would you have anything to say? Would there be any guidance, or do you think what would you say? Yeah. At
18, I think if I had been able to coach myself to be more confident, I mean, it's just something that you have to go through as an adolescent, but
yeah,
I suffered you would never believe me that I was the most antisocial and socially retarded person. You know what I mean?
What do you mean? In school, in high school, or?
Yeah, high school. Like I went to college a year early, so I was 17. And I grew up in a really conservative house, and like I never went out and did things on my own. So when I went to school, I would hang out in my dorm, and I had social anxiety. So like unless someone invited me to go out to eat, I wouldn't eat. And so like I would eat like granola bars on my bed or something. And then going to a corner store, like I couldn't handle the idea of talking to a cashier. I was just like,
wow.
And so I always felt like I had to like kind of like I'd be alone walking or like be, or have a group of friends that I met in class that they'd be like, oh, do you want to get lunch? And then I would eat like 4 plates of food. And then I wouldn't eat like the rest of it. It was weird and totally
How'd you
unhealthy.
get over that? Or
I had some really good people in my life that told me the truth. And I'm so appreciative of people being straightforward because I think I do have like a knack for observing things. So like when I would see girls who were popular or like get attention or things like that, I'd be like, oh, what makes people like them? And then I'd see that they were like outgoing and bubbly and like do stuff. And so then I was like, okay, like I need to learn how to be like that. And so I would try and just like put myself out there. Yeah. And it was hard because like my mom would pick me up every weekend my first year of college. And so I didn't really get to like hang out much, like besides just going to class. So it like kind of kept me back a little bit, I think, because she was just like, you don't know what you're doing. And then I'm like, I know. And then I dated this guy in my first serious boyfriend in college, and he was a really amazing artist. And he told me all the truth. He was just like, you suck at your art because you don't work hard and you like don't know how to articulate yourself. And he's like, you need to write, you need to read this philosophy book with me. And like he would invite me to all the drawing sessions and we would just draw, because I was in illustration. So we were like drawing with friends, and like it was because of him. Like he pushed me so hard, and he's like, what the
got you out of your shell?
Yeah, he's like, what are you doing here? Like, why are you even here? Because he was like an adult already, and he like went back to school. So he was really like grateful for the experience of being in art school. And he's just like, you have like the world at your fingertips, and you're literally just like anxious about going outside. And he's just like, just nobody gives a fuck. Like, just do your thing and then make the best of this whole situation. So I was like, okay. and it woke me up. And then I was just like, I'm going to be an artist. And
so maybe telling your 18-year-old self to like give less fucks about what people think would be some good advice.
Yeah.
Like, what's it all mean? It doesn't mean anything.
Because I feel like I find that the people who I enjoy being around the most are the ones that are their truest self, like without any apology, and that they're not holding back in like a good way.
Unapologetically authentic.
Yeah, and I admire people like that because I'm like, wow, like they have the courage and confidence, or maybe it's not even courage, maybe like they're just confident to just like walk their own path, and then you're like inspired by that. But when you see people who, I mean, you know, it's just like, hey, what do you like to do? Oh, I like to watch Netflix, or like I like to eat. And I'm like, what else do you like to do? Do you like to go on adventures? Or, you know, and that's just like when you find people who actually have like things to share and like do, you find that they're actually like walking their own path. I don't know.
Yeah, that's important in life. I think you gotta just be yourself and chase your passions. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of NPCs out there, I think. And, you know, I don't think most people are truly self-aware. They're just kind of go through the motions. Okay, I got to get a paycheck. I got to do something from 9 to 5. You know, I got to not dream big because it seems silly. I don't know. There's a lot of that conditioned into when you're growing up. Well, I think we're doing pretty good here, Sibel. This is really great. Is there anything you, well, you know what? Here's some things you might want to, did you know Colorado has the most ghost towns in any place, I think? Where was that? Oh, maybe that was on something else.
I want to go to a ghost town.
Yeah, there's 1,500 ghost towns in Colorado because of the mining things. And
have you done it?
No, I've driven by them, but I have never gotten out. They seem too scary. And it's also the capital of cloud to ground lightning. There's some pretty intense lightning storms here.
I love lightning.
Oh yeah, there's 1,000 ghost towns in Colorado. Thousands of ghost towns. Colorado has over 1,500 ghost towns, more than almost any other state in the U.S. So
UFOs?
Yeah. Have you seen any yourself?
I've definitely had experiences where I've seen orbs. Or have you been out to Penland?
No.
Okay, well, at Penland, you know, it's up in the North Carolina mountain.
Okay.
In the mountains. And on campus, there's a big knoll. So, like a
grassy knoll.
Yeah, and I was sitting at the dorm with one of the other girls, and we were just looking out into the knoll, and it was all black, like darkness.
Uh-huh.
And then we see 3 lights at the end of the knoll, and then I was like, oh, it's like 3 people walking up with flashlights. That's like,
excuse me.
Salud.
That's it. I'll bet you $5. That's the last one.
And then, like, the orbs are just.
So they look like they were on the ground, like they could have been flashlights.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, I wonder who's coming up the knoll. And then all of a sudden, 2 of them are like, and then I was like, is that a car? Like, I thought it was a car in the knoll. And then all of a sudden, they're like getting really big and bright, and we're both just like, what's happening? And then all of a sudden, the 3 of them just go pew 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 like this.
Disappear.
They go pew 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 like that,
and then they shot off.
Yeah, just disappeared. Like they like were really bright, then they acted kind of crazy, and then they left.
Whoa, they weren't fireflies or anything. They were too big.
Yo, for me to mistake them as a car coming out, and then I was just
that's crazy.
And yeah, I don't know. I'm so fascinated by it.
I think there's something happening right now. It seems like there's a lot more sightings, and the government, you know, is saying that they've got technology and biologics from otherworldly.
I wouldn't be surprised. They've probably been handling that shit for like
a long time,
100 years or something.
If you knew you were going to be stranded on an island,
oh shit,
and you could only bring 3 things with you, what do you think would be the essentials you would need?
Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed.
No food though, or water. We'll say there's coconuts and water source there, but what 3 things would you bring to maybe maintain your sanity or?
I think I'd probably have to have some type of tool.
Okay, a multi-tool.
Like maybe a crowbar or something, or like something that has like an edge on it.
For what? What would you need?
Cutting wood or, and then probably a way to make fire, which I don't really know how to, like a flint or something. I'm trying to think.
Rub wood together and get fire going. I've seen that before.
I've never done it, so I'm just guessing because I'm trying to think like, okay, shelter, food, fire, right?
let's say those things are covered. You got a little pack and you got all the little mini saws, but not a big saw, little mini saw. So you have to cut with like a little jackknife to make your house. But say you got like those essentials. What like that you would need to bring from your home? So maybe, you know, like
I'm gonna blow glass on the island.
Yeah. So my torch, my didymiums, some propane.
Yeah.
My oxygen generator.
No, that'd be so silly. But I suppose I'd probably.
Okay, how about this? If your house was on fire and you had to run out really quick and you had to grab Thanos, what would be the one other thing you'd grab in your other arm? You grab Thanos in one arm and you had one other arm to grab something and you have to run.
I feel like it's like
what would it be?
Computer or something.
Your
Which
computer?
I think is stupid because, you know.
It's got photos on it. Do you have any photo albums?
True.
Maybe like.
Yeah, I feel like the computer is like a thing where I'm like, ooh, I can't.
It's all on the cloud, right? Is everything on the cloud?
No, because I have photos
I don't
only
know how
from my
computers
like
work.
camera. Yeah, but I feel like something that would be more logical would be like the codes where you have your, you know, the book where you have your codes for your
Bitcoin
and shit.
I have to find that. I know it's somewhere here.
So I
the
feel
7
like
random words. That's probably the best
book.
Yes.
And then I'd be like, "Where's my fucking book?" Like,
do you know where that is right now?
Yeah,
Okay, good. Yeah, I need to find. I'm gonna find mine today.
So,
I've been meaning to.
Yeah, you should totally look for those.
I just want to know where they are because,
My
Bitcoin
brother-
is making me anxious every day. I want to like buy more, but it's like it's so high and it's just going up more. I'm like,
crazy, isn't it?
was that like 92 yesterday?
Yeah,
That's crazy. So you go up $10,000 a day.
Wild. Like there are people just.
Do you have Bitcoin?
But I'm not like big Bitcoin, but I have, you know, a little bit.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, what I've put in it so far, it's like doubled at least.
Okay.
So.
See, I'm almost back to where I bought it because I think, well, like now it's like 10,000, like more or whatever. But yeah, I bought it. I was like, fuck, Bitcoin. This sounds pretty cool. I'm gonna buy it, and it like dropped 75%, and then now it's been working its way back up.
Oh,
and
you
now
bought it late?
I bought real late. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think would be a good purchase right now? Are you into Bitcoin at all?
I'm very casual about it.
But
I'm more like I listen to other people talk about it around me, and then I'm like, cool.
Have you heard about PP Coin?
No.
I hear that might be a good one.
Uh-oh. I guess I'll have to look into that.
PayPay? Maybe it's PayPay. PayPay.
I did. Yeah, like, I don't know. I just kind of listened to my brother. My brother's
Is he
really
good with
into
it?
that.
That's good.
He's got me in some stocks, and, you know, he encourages me to follow certain systems for like long term.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been able to create his own wealth from just doing that. And he was like, he stores his codes in like a element proof box, like that has like water in it and stuff. I don't know. It's like,
Has water
I
in
don't
it?
know. My brother's just like, you got to make sure that even if your house catches on fire, that there's no way that your codes will burn or something.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
Yeah, I hear you can recover it somehow, but it's costly and it's like a long process. And I need to find mine because I somehow switched. I don't know. Someone came over here and they showed me how to put $1,000 into my kids' names with like these 2 websites, and I don't know where it went, and I don't know how to access it. And I have to find those words to like get everything.
Dude, it's
compiled.
a big deal.
Yeah,
Big deal.
it's just 1,000 because I have Coinbase and I can see everything on there. But
Yeah.
I guess we moved something. I'm not sure. I want to learn more about it. All right. Well, is there anything you want to get off your chest, or is there any shows you got coming up, or any other topics you want to touch on before we wrap this up? And we'll have you back. I love getting all the updates. Now you're here, and
I know. We can have all kinds of fun.
see you all the time.
This year I'm already planning out some classes.
Where are they going to be?
So I'm going back to Barcelona with Kohlberger.
Sweet.
And we're co-teaching a class at the BCN Glass Studio.
Okay.
And then she's teaching a class at Corning, and I'm going to be her TA now.
Oh, cool.
So we'll go to Corning together. And then I'm co-teaching a class with Coyle at Pilchuck in July. And then that'll be 2.5 weeks, long session. So
Wow.
I'm already
2.5 weeks. That's a pretty, yeah.
It's a big class.
What is there a name of that class, or are you guys focusing on anything?
Yeah, we're focusing on doing things like as a community, like since it's a long session, we really want to have like collaboration as a big theme, and like moving our bodies. This is actually like part of the curriculum.
Okay.
That we'll do like physical activities together to like kind of.
Was
like,
that Mind, Body, and Bowl? Okay.
Yeah,
I like the name.
Yeah. So it's cool. We're looking forward to it. And honestly, Coyle was the one that was suggesting the physical aspect. I was going to be cool about it, but he's like, trim your belly with the belly, you know? And so
That's a good name too.
Yeah, so we're gonna have fun.
That's important. Yeah, that's cool. So you got a couple of classes lined up, and then no shows or anything, or?
I'm doing a little thing with Mins.
Okay.
We're talking about the details actually, and I think that's gonna be in. Ooh, I don't want to say. I forgot the date, but
okay, coming up to be announced. Yeah. Very cool.
But honestly, I'm just keeping it low key right now. I'm not really planning anything crazy.
That's probably smart. Just take some time, get settled, get organized, find your favorite coffee shop. Maybe there's not many food options here, and there's a couple new spots coming up. So I'm excited. There's a place called the Cow downtown that's going to be like a new steakhouse. So they're working on it. That might be good.
Dude, we should have you guys over for dinner because like we don't even need to think about eating out because we're so good at cooking.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
I have to just toot it because like every meal is special.
Really?
Like,
yeah. That's nice. We eat at home a lot too, and I love cooking as well. And I enjoy cooking. What's your favorite dish to cook? Or what did you cook recently that you liked?
Last night, we have this special thing where we like to make stuffed lamb meatballs.
Ooh.
And we'll take goat cheese and stuff it inside the lamb, and then we started adding, like, we've done this rendition like 6 different times, but we change it a little bit every time, and they just keep getting better and better.
Love that.
But this last round, we didn't have any goat cheese, so we were like, okay, let's impromptu make different kind of lamb meatball. And so I have this Turkish sausage. It's called sucuk, and it's like kind of spicy, and it's almost like a summer sausage, but like a little thinner. And I chopped up in tiny pieces and mixed it in with the lamb. And then I put olives, chilies, like we grilled up onions and mushrooms and pepper and garlic and like mixed it all in 2 quail eggs. And then we put, cumin and paprika and stuff. Mix those up, put them in the oven, and then take them out and then pan fry them. Wow. And then we made like
So they weren't stuffed. You just mixed all the meat together? Okay.
Yeah, and cheddar cheese too, for sure.
Just mixed in, not stuffed?
Yeah, mixed in, like all mixed. And then you'd get a bite of that olive in there. And we made this yogurt sauce with dill and parsley and garlic and buttermilk cream and all it. And it was like this decadent but like kind of zesty sauce over.
So what day do you want to have us over for dinner?
Yeah,
this sounds good.
Come on over. I mean, like,
what day's meatball day?
Meatball days, any day you come over.
Okay. That sounds delicious.
Yeah, we're also getting good at making wings on the smoker.
Okay.
And I'm titled the cream queen or sauce queen because like if you want a really good sauce or a really good cream or anything dairy based, just call me up. I got you. So,
what kind of wings did you make, like sauce for the wings?
Yeah, the last time we made wings, I made this pineapple sauce and I put some like sesame oil and it was like kind of Asian with like red peppers and stuff. And then I made like a traditional buffalo sauce where I put like tons
from scratch.
Yeah.
Buffalo? Wow.
You put like a bunch of butter in it and I'll put like a little bit of cream. And so it's like kind of soft, velvety, but like spicy.
Yummy. What is buffalo sauce made from? Like what are the main ingredients?
Well, I'll use I get kind of experimental with it, but I'll put like Tabasco and then butter, and then I'll put some like supporting hot like spices, and then you just like mix it up, and sometimes I add a little cream to it, and then good shit.
Well, we'll take you up on that anytime.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
That sounds good. Well, I think we did good. We're trying to keep them, around an hour. We're at an hour and a half. So thank you so much for coming in again. It's nice to hear that you're here and everything's going well. And
seriously, yeah. We got to get people together more, Like,
yes.
I just love that, like coming here and seeing everyone in one spot. And then there's all this like little mini dramas happening around. And I'm just like, guys, like, look where you are. Like, why don't we just fucking hang out and do creative shit? And like stop worrying about who's who and this and that, Like that's what I'm looking forward to.
Wise advice right there.
Yeah, more cookouts.
We should definitely maybe think about another collab sometime soon. I love that formula with like the centaur, maybe like a goat woman.
Yeah.
Like that formula, that would be cool with like a little half torso and 4 animal legs on there.
Absolutely. Let's go.
We should do that.
We should do like a little mini series with all the different animals.
That would be cool.
Right? And then they like all go out together.
That'd be tight.
Right?
Let's do it.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Sibel. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Later. All right. Thanks for tuning in to the Robertson Stash Podcast. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you want to support us, please hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, we want to hear from you. So if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to reach out. Hit the website, hit the link. We'll see you next time.